force yourself to go up to the person and introduce yourself and try to be comfortable with conversation. So in your speech, you started off by explaining the benefits of a conversation. Simple techniques such as reading the newspaper, staying up with current events. So at least you gave us an idea of how to have the information available to ourselves whenever we strike up a conversation. Then you spoke of the four levels, small talk, fact discussion, viewpoints and opinion, and then personal feelings. I think that was extremely important in setting up what your purpose of the speech was, especially when you talked about the levels, because how many of us have met someone where they jump right into number 4 and start telling us about their messy divorce or who they don't like, and it is uncomfortable. The other thing that you asked me to look for was vocal variety and facial expressions. I liked how you talked about being from the Midwest and just the whole conversational dialect when speaking with people. I think that kind of gave us a little bit of indication as far as what you might personally struggle with. When you invited Cheyenne to come up and do your role play, I didn't see a lot of vocal variety, but I certainly saw some warmth in your face. You developed your questions, and I know it was a role play, and you might have had your questions rehearsed and in mind, but you took the time to listen to what her responses were. So that was great. You did a good job in terms of asking open-ended questions so that Cheyenne can elaborate more about herself and her opinion without taking it too far so that she could spill personal information that maybe you're not interested in hearing at this time. As far as the evaluation asked, what could you have done differently? And to expound a little bit more on what Bill and Vicki has said, I think introducing somebody to somebody else is a great way to not necessarily get out of talking to someone, but to make somebody feel welcomed and comfortable by introducing them to someone else. And maybe during that first conversation when you're talking about some of those shared interests, think in your head who else at this party has some of those shared interests and introduce them to that person as really a means of making the new participant feel comfortable. Overall, I thought you did a great job, and I enjoyed this speech and the lessons from